Hello, Peaceful Profits Nation. I am Suzanne Burns. I'm one of the acceleration coaches here inside of the program. I'm here today with an exciting client spotlight. Today, we're going to introduce to you our client, Marsha Battee. She is an event planner extraordinaire, and she specializes in helping busy coaches and entrepreneurs launch events that are designed to bring in over $100,000 in revenue. And so, Marsha, I just kind of wanted you to introduce yourself to us a little bit and a little bit of your backstory and kind of what brought you to Peaceful Profits in the first place.
Yes, thank you, Suzanne, for having me. This is exciting to actually come on and share some of my takeaways from being in Peaceful Profits. As you introduced me, my name is Marsha Battee. I'm an event planning strategist and at eventsecretsblueprint.com. And I came to Peaceful Profits in an unusual way. I just remember going through Facebook and seeing an ad that Mike has through Peaceful Profits about the One Book Millions method, writing a book. And I never really thought about writing a book before, and it just something that piqued my interest. So I decided to go ahead and purchase the book. And that was sometime last year around this time. And I put off reading it for a little bit, and then finally got around to reading it and said, oh my goodness, this is some really good content. Even if I don't think I want to write a book, I love the content. I love what a book can do for your business. And so actually the idea came to me to start writing a book. And so that's what I started doing and joined the courses program of Profits just to see if I can do it myself. So I got the book half written and decided, oh no, this is not the direction I want to go in, and sort of completely changed direction, pivoted the business I was going to build and write about, which had a lot to do with nursing and coaching nurses and business and career, and thought about making a pivot to something I really found that I really loved doing, which was event planning, and decided to go full on out and join the implementation program so that I could learn more about what it is to build a peaceful profits business. And that's why I'm here pretty much. I love the process of what I'm learning so far in the Peaceful Profits implementation program. I have a background in event planning. I did it years ago with UCLA as a program manager, planning large-scale events for their medical school, small and large-scale events for their medical school. And then when I started my own coaching business with nurses and career in business and lifestyle, I started my own, webinars, live events, virtual events, did the same for my business, and discovered that, hey, this is something I really love. After hosting an event this summer, did bring in $100,000 in revenue, that this is something that I'm really good at and I really love, and I can see myself doing this for a long time. So I ditched that first book idea and decided to, hey, let me work on a very brand new business that I think it's going to be something that I really have for a very long time.
Yeah. And I think that can be so scary. You get so deep into one plan and then you realize that, oh, this really doesn't fit me, or it doesn't content me. And then to pivot like that can be really intimidating, can't it?
Yeah, it can be, especially when you've written half the book. I did all of the pre-work from the One Big Book Millions method because I joined the courses part of the program. So I did all the work about the research, grabbing old blog posts, grabbing articles I wrote, and I organized them in this, really good way. And I still have that foundation for that book if I ever decide to go back to it. But yeah, I got halfway with putting things together and putting all my articles together, and really had half of the content, if not more of the content that I needed for the entire book. And decided, around March of this year of 2022, that this was not the book for me because I wasn't liking the business. It was hard for me to get clients in the way. My clients were out in the marketplace. They were on social media. And so I'm not a social media fan. I like to go on social media just to look at pretty pictures on Instagram and, connect with people that I haven't connected with. But now, social media is such a business oriented space that it just It gives me anxiety sometimes when I log into social media and just see business content all the time. So that wasn't me. And I knew to get the sort of clients that I was getting in the past, which was hard for me, that I had to really market on social media and be on social media, engage a lot, do reels, do, all sorts of things on social media that just wasn't a part of my being or my marketing plan that I wanted to be a part of my marketing plan. So it was a challenge. And so that's a lot of the reason why I ditched that business or left it behind and said, hey, this isn't working for me. It's not the right business. I'm going to find something else. In the meantime, I'm going to work on these other projects that I have going on right now. And in the midst of working on those projects, I just started to feel like, hey, I really like doing this. And then after this major event this summer is where I was like, hey, why haven't I thought of this before? This is something that I'm really good at, and I like doing it.
Yeah. So as you came in for your first acceleration call, you pretty well already had your high ticket offer ready to be sent to Mike
Yeah.
for review, and that's very unusual. So tell me a
Okay.
little bit, how did you know so quickly exactly what you wanted to pitch and exactly what it was going to look like?
Well, it came about, like I said, I had the event in July, a major 3-day conference that me and my partner created and brought together. So I had that major event in July, and around August, the event ended, around the 1st of August. And around that time, I was like, hey, I wonder, I put this other business behind. I wonder what I could do. And I knew that if I was going to start a new business, I knew I was going to start it with Peaceful Profits, with the Peaceful Profit methodology, because the content was excellent and it really rang true to me. And so I decided, I think in November, I had the idea. I had, thought about, what I could do in an event planning business. And so I said, okay, so these are the things I'm good at in event planning. And how can I make this a business? So I joined the Peaceful Profits program. It took me a while because I got a job in the meantime. And the purpose of me getting that job was to pay for my coaching. So, and I joked about that on the sales call. I think I can't remember who the sales call was with, but I remember joking about it on the sales call saying, hey, I got this job that pays me this 6-figure plus salary so I can just pay for my coaching. And it really paid off. So I joined Peaceful Profits, the implementation program, in November. I want to say November 9th. And I jumped in right away, started going over the content, started from module 0 and went, I think, to stage 2. So I started watching the content and I started implementing. That was the implementation program about, that's what it's about. I started implementing everything right away in terms of creating my offer. And it's all about creating the irresistible offer. So I followed it to a T. And because I knew that Mike markets, his program is geared towards people like me who want to market the way he does, I just knew it was a no-brainer to just follow the steps. And so that's what I did. I followed the steps in the irresistible offer module. I followed it step by step. And by the time we had our acceleration call, I can't remember the date, but I joined November 9th, and our acceleration call was maybe a couple of weeks later, maybe 1 or 2 weeks later. I had already created my offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had created my offer. I think I even told you, hey, I submitted my offer already on our first call. So yeah, I was ready to go because I had never felt, and I think I told you this on one of our calls, I had never felt so sure about my talent and my ability as I do with this business.
Yeah.
Even in nurse coaching, it was fun having clients, but it was a struggle for me to get those clients because, like I said, the marketplace where I had to go to get those clients was not just my cup of tea. It was a struggle to do that business because I always felt I had to sort of show people what my worth was to get a client. And now it's like, I know my worth. I know what I can do. And I know my skill level and I know my expertise. And this is it. And I feel really confident in my expertise. And so I think that makes all the difference. And so, yeah, I was already into the content within that first week. I was diving deep in, writing my offer, submitted my offer. And yeah, that's how that part went.
Yeah. Well, so tell me about this huge win, because by the time you got to your first peaceful sale in, call number 3.
Yeah.
It was pretty significant. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So within 6 weeks, I had an offer completed and my first peaceful sale. Um, because once I submitted my offer, Mike was able to review it, in that timeline that he puts, you have to submit your offer by a certain time and date, and he can have it reviewed for you. So he was able to review it for me within a few days. And funny enough, I had been pitching podcasters to get on their podcast to introduce my new business. Of course, nothing has been done yet. I didn't have my offer all done yet, but I was like, I'm getting ready. I'm just going to go out and pitch. And, by the time the podcast episodes come, I'll have all that stuff done and fleshed out so they'll be able to see what my offer is. Even though I knew it in my head, I just wanted to go out and start working. And so, yeah, I pitched a podcast right before I submitted my offer to Mike. And the podcaster said, well, I'm not taking interviews right now, but I need an event planner. So I was like, oh my God, okay, let me, Mike has my offer. Hopefully I get my offer back in enough time so he can give me some feedback, because I had a lot of questions in my offer. And so I got my offer back a couple of days before my sales call with the client. And the suggestions Mike had gave me so many ahas about things I never, even talked about or thought about before that I could add to my offer, or the pricing of my offer. I was having some struggles around pricing my offer. He gave me the aha I needed to, price it correctly. And so a couple of days later, after getting the offer review back from him and, getting on my sales call, it took 2 sales calls because I started working with an event planner who was an event planner. Sorry, she was an event planner before. So, there's that extra level of, oh, she already knows how to do a lot of this stuff. She just doesn't want to do that now because it's not her field of expertise. And so there was some of that anxiety going into the call of, oh my goodness, she already knows how to do this. Am I going to be good enough? Is my offer going to be good enough for what she needs? And she loved my offer. We came back for a second time because she wanted to see, hey, give me some ideas of what you plan to do or what you hope to do. And I did that. And she said, okay, well, I'll let you know on Friday. And that was, I think, a Monday. And that Friday, she said, let's do it. And she said, I want to pay in full. So I was shocked because it was a $30,000 payment for my offer. Yeah, my offer was $30,000 and she paid in full. And I had never thought that I could do something like that, command something like a fee that huge of a fee before, because I'm used to selling, $3,000 offers, $6,000 coaching packages or something like that. But I never thought, hey, I can actually sell a package that is a full, complete service, a done for you service. And it happened. And I was in shock. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I think I sat at my computer when I got that email. I didn't open the Stripe email. I was so scared. It was like I was looking at the Stripe email, like, and it said, you had, Stripe payment of this amount. And I was just in shock, so a good day, a good shock.
Yeah.
and we were talking about this before we hopped on this call, how, making sales in your business allows you to do other things in your business.
Exactly.
So it's been really helpful, and I'm really excited about it. Looking forward to more sales calls, looking forward to more implementation of the Peaceful Profit system, because I've only gotten to module 2. Who knows what I'll do in 3 and 4. So I'm really excited about that I've only gotten, halfway, not even halfway through the program. And I've made my first sale in 6 weeks. It took me 6 weeks from joining the program, creating the offer according to the method that you have, and then selling that offer. It was a whole 6 weeks. And yeah, I'm just thrilled about it.
Yeah.
So
I love that you just dive right in. You were already pitching podcasts. You were looking to be a guest on her podcast, and it turned into a job interview. I
yes.
think that's so awesome and
Yeah.
such an encouragement to other people. So, when I asked you to come on this spotlight, I know it was a little intimidating for you. Let's talk for a minute about that, because you didn't want it to come across as, oh, I've arrived, I'm suddenly a perfect expert in all of this. So tell me a little bit about the kind of the intimidation. You touched on it a second ago, talking about not wanting to open the Stripe email. How did all of that make you feel?
Yeah, when you first emailed me or sent the email to me about being a spotlight, I was just like, oh my God, well, I can't do that yet because this is just one sale. And what if I don't make any other sales? So yeah, immediately it's that imposter syndrome. Regardless of me being confident in my skills and ability in my business, it was just, oh my goodness, I don't want to jinx myself. And I think I said that to you in the email. I said, no, I don't want to jinx it. So it was about looking inside and saying, oh, getting comfortable with the idea of putting myself out there. And it's part of the sales process too, being able to put yourself out there, being vulnerable in some sense, and allowing people to help people, in order to help people, to allow people to see some of your process as well. And so I immediately got over it. Once you said, don't think about it that way, think about it in this aspect. And I said, okay, that makes so much sense. But yeah, it was a little nerve wracking to think, oh my goodness, what if this is going to be my only client ever? so, so I was a little bit nervous about it, but yeah, I will push past the fear, which is what I've taught people to do
Right.
for years. Push past the fear and keep going and keep starting before you're ready. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what are some things that you could give, some advice that you could give to the audience about getting motivated, getting started, overcoming those insecurities? What are some tips?
First, I have to say, and I say this to everybody, and I just said it, start before you're ready. I always say, like, I hit publish on 80% of the work done. Whether it was, a blog post back in the day, a podcast episode, I will go ahead and publish, because once I know it's published, that means other people can see it and it's going to force me to finish it. So I always say start before you're ready, because you can't, and I know it's cliche to say, you're not going to be able to start when everything is perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. You're never going to be able to get started. So it's really true. It's really what I live by. I start before I'm ready all the time. Just like pitching podcasts. I didn't have my offer yet. I've already pitched 30 podcasts by that time. Before I got I had already pitched 30 podcasts. I didn't have, I pitched podcasts every day in the month of November. So by the time I had my offer created, it wasn't even ready until I think December. My offer wasn't ready, but I was preparing myself to be ready when the opportunity did arise. Like right now, we were just discussing that there are things I need to put up on my website that are not on my website just yet. But, I always hit publish. So main thing is to start before you're ready. Ask for help. And that's something I'm learning. And we were just talking about that. There are a lot of things I want to do in my business, and it's okay to hire help. And, making sales calls, getting sales, of course, is going to allow you to be able to hire help. And it's allowed me to do that as well. So get some help. I would also say, in terms of getting help, posting in our group, if you're in the implementation program, to go ahead and post in the group and solicit advice, because this is the most welcoming community. And I've only been there less than 2 months, and it's the most welcoming community, one of the most welcoming communities I've been a part of. I'd say 2 in my life that have been really helpful and welcoming, where people are open to giving you ideas and being supportive. It's not like other groups I've been a part of, or the other coaching groups that I've been a part of. So don't be afraid to ask for help, and then follow the steps. I think that is most important, because you join certain programs for a reason. And I have a feeling that a lot of people join this program for some of the same reasons I did, because we see how Peaceful Profits is marketed, like the way Mike markets his business, this business, is probably a lot of the ways that everybody else wants to market, either by a book, not being on social media all the time, not being there daily, but follow the steps, because you've joined this program for a reason and something resonated with you within this program. You joined it for a reason. So follow the steps so it can work for you. And I have to say, this is the first program where I've followed something I haven't done everything. Of course, there are pieces that I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do Facebook marketing. I'm just going to focus on LinkedIn. So there are things I haven't done because I want to focus on other areas. But once I decide, hey, I'm going to make this area my focus right now. Follow those steps and it's working. I have to say it works. So.
Yeah, and I think you really are a testimony to not only the process working, but also you working. You came right in, you hit the ground running, it quite literally. You were ready to begin implementing all of this, and it's obviously paying off. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I think the advice that you're giving the audience is so powerful and so encouraging, because that's the part we control. We don't control the number of podcasters that are willing to have us on their show. We don't control the clients booking an appointment with us. We only control what we can do. And you're
Yeah.
such living proof that that's enough. That's enough. If you just stay consistently moving forward, it will all start falling into place. And I think that's such an encouragement. It is for me. So just to wrap up this episode, how can listeners connect with you if they're interested in event planning services?
Sure. Right now, you can just go to my website, eventsecretsblueprint.com, and you can book a call there on my homepage. And that's pretty much it. It's that easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience, Marsha, before we go?
I just wanted to point out too, this the start before you're ready. Like I said, that's my number one advice to anybody, starting before you're ready. And just to give you another example, I hired a VA before I got a client because the VA could take some stuff off of my plate. And I knew and then had belief that, okay, the client will come once I hire that VA, because yeah, that's coming out of my pocket, starting a brand new business. So starting before you're ready is just key.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great. All right, well, I appreciate it. I hope this has been an interesting interview for you and the audience, and I look forward to seeing you inside the Peaceful Profits world. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye for now.